Hello and welcome back to another session walkthrough. Today I'm pretty excited because we're going through probably my favorite song on the record, Keys. Let's get right into it. Here we are, Bitwig Studio as usual. And let's jump into our drums. Wait, what do we notice at first? Yay, organized and color-coded. Here's the start of the song. I'm just gonna go right into the drums here. So basically, I'll mute all these quick. In typical fashion, just start with the old kick. This is a fat kick. I actually have two kick layers here because I remember going back and forth on which kick I liked better. So yeah, I mean, subjective, I guess. But then I think it really came down to the end here in the rhythm with how it sounded with everything. Yeah, so that's going. There's a little tambourine hits here. Then we get into some tight snaps. This is a cashmere snap. And then the first drop, I guess you'd call it. This little loopy guy. I basically took some weird loop. You can see all these muted clips I ended up not keeping, and I just chopped it up and it made that sound. Yeah, kick, kick, kick all the way through. Then we get into the verse. So we got a shaker on the offbeat along with this shaker loop. And these are, I mean, this is a pretty big part of this whole track is these massive drums, which are damaged. I love me some damage, some big, strong drums. These just sound awesome. And these are just slammed into Camel Crusher here. Go straight, oh, Annihilate, nice. I was gonna say, go straight to British Clean, but I did not. And then we got the old Phil Collins. In the bridge here, and the build, I should say, this is a clap loop I kind of made with 4 different claps kind of. So I'm basically alternating every now and then kind of the variation of the claps so they don't sound too robotic. So it looks like more or less there's like a loop that is 2 measures. That's the same thing repeated over and over, but that's all varied. There's a build. This is just a snare with pitch, the pitch being automated up. And then we get into the good part with the drums being like, this is a little more of a classic feather type drum kit. The drums are playing a lot more of that sort of a beat. I do have my fake drum room going here. You'll recognize that. It's pretty much the same. So this is just a cashmere loop. I made this ride loop, I believe, and saved it using a drum kit sampler, Superior Drummer. And yeah, add the tam. Let's get our bass rocking. Right at the beginning here, this is just kind of a... This looks like... massive. For sure, again, I was just scrolling through Complete Control, trying to find different sounds, came across that. Over here in the first drop, we'll say, again, Complete Control. This is Monarch. I actually use Monarch more and more because it's just a little more unique drums sounds, or sorry, bass sounds. So that's Camel Crushed, British Clean. There she is. There's some chorus on it. Neutron 2 is missing as usual. Yeah. And there's a kickstart applied to this whole bass group because everything is pretty much going when that kit is going. We keep it going into the verse. And then the drop. Here's a nice fat bass for the end. This is Substance. There's a new one. This is made by Output. Substance has some great fat basses. And then with trash on it, that's probably Add Muscle. Don't know. Must have been a custom. Okay, next, get our guitar. So this is guitar I recorded, again with the old Jazz Master back there. And this just has this movement plugin on it, giving it a bit of like a motion. Cosmic Radio, so without it. And then, looks like I got a bunch of extra crap on here. That's weird. I'm just gonna delete these. I sometimes just try things and then I kind of don't take them off. And then here I just kind of move it down to another track where it's processed a little differently with a little bit more. This is called Rage Nights. So it gives it a bit more of a funky. And then some more reverb. Yeah, last guitar at the end here. This is a big old fat lead, Coldplay style. Real big. That's just screaming. This is CLA Guitars. Kind of just playing with the edge setting here. Get some delay, making it big with the stereo. And then some compression. Neutron 2, there's a clean guitar setting I normally use with my guitars to help clean it up a little bit. That's probably what that was doing. And then Drenched in Valhalla Shimmer, just so soaked. Yeah, pretty long. And that's that. And that just goes through the end. Keys. There's only one key guy in here. Because the other keys are kind of built into the synth stack. So this is just a little lead here. So that is hybrid keys in Contact. This is a really awesome key library. Then driven with the Bitwig stock amp. You can kind of hear it fuzzing up. And delay with replica, Valhalla plate. We are cruising synth time. Here's just pads at the beginning. Here's a little more. Again there. And then again at the build here. This is some ambience. Very nice. Here's some more ambience. Just sidechained here. Could use a little more. So then that comes back here in the verse. And then at the end, when we get really big, we add the saws. What do we got? This is called Cotton Candy. I thought I used Big Clean and I did not. This is a Echo Soundworks Prism sound. Not a lot of chords for me. I kind of like this one. I felt like I didn't stick to my guns typically with over-layering synths and all that stuff. And then under those at the end is this kind of like progressive. You know, I spoke too soon. I probably overlayered a little too much in this part here. So this stack is basically this. And then a lead. Oh, that's a lower one. That could have been in the bass group, but I'm guessing because I processed this stack all together. So yeah, I have the glue, neutron 2, kickstart, and then a shaper box effect. So that's in there. And on top is this guy. Just huge. These probably could have been trimmed a little even more. Sorry, my processor's freaking out a little bit, getting a little heated. So that's all those things. I guess kind of a different way than what I'm doing usually, but I maybe didn't need massive saws with these big steps. But I did. So what are you gonna do? Aside from that, that's all of those. Leads, I guess we'll go here. So at the beginning we have this little guy. That's Spire, baby. Doing so good. It sounds so great. And that's the same thing here. It's just, I kind of just had them on separate tracks because I think I actually don't know why I did that. I probably could have put that on the same track. Then it just automates the cutoff up when it opens up during this part. Same deal here. And then this. So I split these up into 3 tracks, probably just so I didn't have to do a lot more automation. But honestly, they probably could have stayed in the same track. This one's probably on its own because it was hard to hear at the end, probably because I overlayered this whole synth scenario. So I basically separated it from the rest so I had more control. But realistically, I think if everything was a little more leveled and stable across the board, the whole song, I probably could have kept them in the same track and really just done its job as one instrument. Now looking into vocals, this vocal was actually sent to me by a longtime friend, Stephen K. I'm searching for a key to a door that... So he actually recorded this in his studio, and then we went back and forth on some lyric changes and whatnot. And and he did all the tracking himself, and actually sent me this acapella layered, and it just sounded so good. It didn't even bother like getting all the individual parts separated because he just did such a great job.
I'm searching for a key to a door that doesn't exist anymore.
Just great.
I used to keep it there by your picture, but now it's face down on the floor.
So then what I did was I took that, I chopped it into a multi-sample to make different parts playable in this. So it's kind of similar to what he's normally doing. It's just a little more split up, I guess, a little more succinct. Yeah, and then under the vocal here, kind of this call and response.
It doesn't exist anymore.
That is
I used to keep it.
That is in Outputs Arcade. This is the Distant Voices line, which is one of my favorite ones. I love these dreamy voices. Mists of Time, just sprinkled in there. Same with this part here. Just great. Same deal going on here. And again, this is separated from this one because it was probably really hard to hear, so I split it up to get more control. And then, honestly, the vocal's pretty straightforward all the way through. Because he already has processing and stuff on it, I kind of just left it as is. I just sent it a bit to this vocal verb here. This is vintage verb. And then I split up this part so I could add delay on it separate from that. So that's why that's in its own place. I'll probably move that up here next to it. And that's it. Boom, done. Vocals just nice and quick. So it works out, you know. Thank you, Steven, for crushing that, dude. And I think it's a really great skill for vocalists to know how to do that stuff. Just be familiar with the tracking, tuning, editing, process. Also, shout out Tim. I don't know if you're ever going to see this, but you too, I know you were involved in that. So thanks, boys. Here's the effects. A little bit chaotic, as usual. All these little guys. Just all over the place. A little much. Yeah, and you put it all together and you get this. That's that. Pretty much it. Again, this is probably one of my favorite tracks. I just feel like it's a unique approach than what I typically take on songs, and it has a lot of elements from my roots along with stretching to some of my more modern and future influences. So I love it. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.